who to include on your family formals. Before watching this video, I recommend you to check out my video, 5 tips to make your wedding family formals easy. So first of all, I recommend providing your photographer with a list of specific names for each group photo. This helps everybody hear their name and ensure that things move quickly. Avoid broad labels such as parents, grandparents, siblings, since this doesn't give a clear direction. Instead, include names for each group photo, and that way we can keep things organized and efficient. Now, let's work on some examples of a family formal photo list. Please keep in mind that for simplicity's sake, I will be using a bride with pronouns of she and her, and the groom with pronouns of him and he. Example, immediate family, parents and siblings. Many couples choose to do photos with their parents and siblings during their wedding day. If you want to include your parents and siblings, here is my recommended list. Group 1, bride with her brothers and sisters. Group 2, bride with her mom and dad. Group 3, groom with his brother and sisters. Group 4, groom with his mom and dad. Group 5, bride and groom with both sets of parents and both sets of brothers or sisters. Grandparents. Including your grandparents can be incredibly special if they're able to attend, so we definitely want to capture that. If you would like to include your grandparents, here are some list variations that could be very helpful. Group 1, bride with her grandma and grandpa. Group 2, group with his grandma and grandpa. Group 3, bride and groom with both sets of grandparents. Group 4, large group photo of bride and groom with both sets of parents, both sets of grandparents, and both sets of brothers and sisters. Blended families. If you have step-parents or a blended family situation, we can separate photos for each side. Or we can even try combining them in a way that feels comfortable for everybody. Family dynamics can be complicated, and for that, I recommend providing your photographer with a list of specific groups beforehand so that they know exactly who to group together. If there may be any situations that could arise that could make you uncomfortable, it is best to keep those groups separate or consider possibly not having them at all. An example of how to handle a blended family is the following. Group 1, bride with mom and stepdad. Group 2, bride with stepmom and dad. Group 3, groom with mom and stepdad. Group 4, groom with stepmom and dad. You can then consider if you would like to mix these two groups together. For extended family like aunts, cousins, and uncles, we always try to capture everybody in a candid way during the wedding. However, if you'd like a formal photo with all of your extended family, I recommend choosing a specific time and location, informing everybody in advance, since this will keep things on schedule, and doing one big group shot instead of doing smaller groups. Please let your family know that we will be following a tight timeline, and if they're late, we may need to move forward without them. This will ensure that everyone is prepared and on time. An example of what this could look like would be a big group photo that includes the bride's and groom's parents, brothers, sisters, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins. For these group shots, I would steer away from trying to break it down into smaller groups unless your timeline allows it. I would then recommend to capture your other family members in a more candid way throughout the day. I do want to stress that there is absolutely no pressure to include anyone that you're not comfortable with. I've worked with couples in all kinds of family dynamics, and we can tailor the photos that work best for your specific situation. Some couples opt for a very intimate family photo list, and other wants to include everybody they can. Both are totally fine, as long as there is communication to the family members as well as your photographer. So, are there any particular family members you definitely want to include? Or are there any groupings that you already have in mind? Feel free to share any preferences or ideas, and happy planning!